Summer is officially here and many people are out sightseeing, shopping, or just enjoying the gorgeous weather. That also means more e-scooters are sharing the roads and sidewalks, and Tom Yost of the Yost Legal Group is back with us today to discuss how to ride safely. Tom, welcome.
Thank you for having me today.
I'm happy to have you here. I'm seeing these scooters all over the place. I mean, I feel like it's like toys in my basement. Like they're just scattered everywhere.
There are a lot of scooters, and they're going to be more. This month, the Baltimore City Council has approved 4 different vendors who are going to be placing scooters throughout the city.
So 4 different vendors throughout the city. This is a good thing because it gets people moving, but there are some things that we need to pay attention to make sure that we're staying safe. So what sorts of injuries are you seeing associated with e-scooters?
So some people are very severely injured with e-scooters because they're very small vehicles, they're not very visible, and are on the road with big vehicles. We have a client, we were contacted by a client who was riding down Saratoga Street on a scooter, going from one building to another for his job, when a truck, an SUV, opened his door from the parking lane.
Oh,
he went over top, hit his head, and he has no use of his arms or legs.
Are you kidding me? That's
it's
horrible.
It's a spinal cord injury. So that's just about the worst.
Oh my goodness. So how can we stay safe? I mean, that sounds like such a freak accident, but it can happen, obviously.
Well, the scooters aren't really regulated very well, and they're just beginning to make rules. So the Baltimore City Council has just created some rules, and they're under review right now. And they include that the scooter should not be able to go more than 15 miles per hour on the roadway.
Okay.
They should only go 8 miles per hour in high traffic areas.
Okay.
If the speed limit is above 25, the scooters need to ride on the sidewalk and only 6 miles per hour. If it's under 25, they can ride on a bike lane or in the lane between the parked cars.
Now, is this something that the people who are renting these scooters have to remember then? Because that sounds like a lot of different stipulations.
Yeah, I mean, these are the rules that people who rent scooters need to be aware of.
Okay.
There are a lot of other rules that probably won't be followed. For example, when you rent a scooter on an app, there are a bunch of conditions that you have there. Some of them are that you promise to use a helmet. Bird's app says that you have a driver's license and you're over 18.
Wow.
But there's no way to control that.
Right, because I never see people using helmets when they're on these things. So what are our rights when we are actually renting the scooters?
Yeah, that's a very important question because these apps that people log on to access the scooter have a lot of fine print. One of the things in the app says that you won't drive down a hill because obviously you go too fast and get hurt. Another says that you cannot sue the manufacturer of the scooter, that you agree to arbitrate your claim. So you would be giving up your right to jury trial without knowing that.
So if you get a scooter and you're renting a scooter and there's something faulty with it, because there could be, you have to go to arbitration instead of...
Yeah, and it's a fixed system because the manufacturer gets to pick the arbitrators. You have no right to a trial or a jury or a judge, so it's very difficult.
So then how do we assert our rights? Do we reach out to you if there's something like that happens?
Well, the courts are kind of mixed, and right now in the federal legislature, they may abolish these mandatory arbitration clauses.
Right.
But there are also other legal problems with scooters, and that is that a lot of people don't know that if you're driving a scooter, perhaps on a sidewalk, and you hit somebody and break their arm, you don't have insurance coverage. Your automobile policy isn't going to cover you driving a 2-wheel electric scooter. So if you hit somebody, you could be at the other end of a lawsuit for hurting somebody.
These are all things that make sense, but you don't really think about until they're laid out like that. So I guess, are scooters something that we should be using or not using, or using with caution?
Well, I think that the safeguards in terms of the system of the rules, the awareness of maybe a separate lane for bicycles and scooters is a good idea, and certainly some insurance to make sure that if a person on a scooter hurts somebody else, or if a person on a scooter gets hurt by somebody who's not a car, that they can at least
get some coverage
and get some medical help.
All right, so we've got more information if you want. You can just go to yostlaw.com or call the number on your screen. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it. And we'll be right back right after this. Stay tuned.